Guys, Marsing here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we got the EZA on global for physical Beerus, and his EZA seems very, very good. So we've got him fully EZA'd here, level 140, SA15. Going to jump into an event and see how well he does. He is a leader for Exploding Rage or Realm of Gods 170. His super attack raises attacks, it's an infinite stack, does immense damage, greatly lowers attack and defense. And then he gets attack 50% and defense 200% at the start of the turn. So he is basically getting all his defense start of turn, which is good. He has an additional attack 150 when performing a super. He gets 40% damage reduction if you pick up 3 or more orbs. Then he gets an additional 40% damage reduction if you pick up, 30% is the additional, when you pick up 7 or more orbs. So it gives him 70% in total. So if you get 7 orbs, he has 70% damage reduction, which is really, really good. Then he gets an additional attack and defense 150% within the same turn after receiving an attack. He randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow and attacks effective against all types when there is a Realm of Gods enemy. So Realm of Gods enemy, he changes orbs, which is going to make it easier to get those 7 orbs. And it's against Realm of Gods, which is like all the new hard stages, right, for the red zone. So I'm running him on the 200% team of the Int Carnival Kid Gohan. So he's got 200% leader skill. We're going up against the Goku Black stage because I want to do a separate video for Fusion Zamasu. I think he's going to be quite good there. But I was really interested to see how well he would do in this scenario because obviously phase 1, we have type disadvantage. But we're fighting a Realm of Gods enemy, so we've gotten our rainbow orb changing. So I can go ahead and grab these orbs. So we got 10 orbs, so we have 70% damage reduction. He has 229k defense. So in theory, obviously it would be more than that. But if he was to get super attacked in slot 1, if the super attack was to do 1,000,000 damage, he has 70% damage reduction. That immediately drops that down to 300k. So then he'd only be taking like 100k. But that's, again, if he wasn't type disadvantage. So there is a possibility that he just gets one shot here in slot 1. I actually don't know how this is going to play out. But once he gets that first hit, he gets the big defense buff. So he took 24k, and then he drops to double digits. And then it's at 12.3 on turn 1. That's with 2 links active, by the way. So with Carnival Gohan, he shares Fierce Battle and The Innocence. And that's it. So 12.3, yeah, plus extreme STR and to super physical, so like the damage would be pretty high. But yeah, that's so basically double 13 million attack stats there from Beerus on a turn where he had 2 links. He is getting 50% support because I'm running the Int Future Gohan, so he's a 50% support unit to all Bond of Master and Disciple characters. I think Gohan might die to this actually because he's not built up. Yeah, 827. Well, let's see if we can get a rotation where we actually have Beerus with Beerus and Whis. But, I mean, pretty good first turn for our boy, the God of Destruction right there. So, well, we still got Beerus and Whis separated. But at least we have the same rotation that we got last time. I'm really intrigued as to how much damage he would take from a slot 1 super, but I don't really want to find out. But there's our 7 orbs. So we've got our damage reduction. Get these for you. And then I guess we'll just grab these for you. So yeah, 21k, then it goes down to double digits. And then yeah, 12.3. I mean, very, very impressive on the first turn, right? And this is effective against all types, so it doesn't matter that Goku Black's STR in terms of us dealing damage to him. But this is what I want to see. How much does this do? So it still does 814k. That's with 70% damage reduction. Oh, actually, no, wait. His damage reduction is before attacking, isn't it? Yeah, it's the same rotation. Yeah, because he's got... If we read his passive again, it's... reduced damage received by 40% with 3 or more key spheres obtained. Then it says additional damage reduction of 30% before attacking with 7 rain orbs obtained. So after he attacks, he then only has 40% damage reduction. So that means that super from Goku Black was doing almost 2 million damage to him, because with 40% taken off, it still did 800k, which is pretty crazy. So I guess going into an event where you have type disadvantage is probably not the best idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do the old classic, jump into one of these longer events, because I do want to see him get stacked up a little bit in terms of his overall stats. And then in terms of 200% teams, he is on Turles's 200% lead, which is not a team you're probably going to use that much, I would imagine. But he is on the 200% leader for AGL Blue, Goku and Vegeta / Vegito Blue from the Worldwide Celebration, because one of their plus 30% is Realm of Gods. But obviously now we get him with thingy straight away. But of course, now we don't get the ability to get 7 orbs. We also don't have him in slot 1, so he's not getting hit first. So it'll be an interesting switch up here, so we can see what he's now going to be getting in this scenario. Because he still has the 40% base damage reduction, which he keeps after attacking. But he's not getting hit first, so he's not getting the extra buffs to his stats. But yeah, so Blue, Goku, Vegeta, their 30% extra is to Realm of Gods, but one of their 170s is Battle of Fate, which this guy is on. The Beerus and Whis aren't, unfortunately, so we can't run them on that team. But I think the AGL, Goku, Vegeta obviously are the better leader to be taking into an event like Fusion Zamasu, as opposed to my 55% Int Kid Gohan, right? So... But yeah, Beerus is an infinite stacker for attacks. It's one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to take him into one of these slightly longer events. He would tank the STR first one Frieza Super, yeah. This Frieza's not hitting very hard. I'm pretty sure this Frieza doesn't even hit 1,000,000 damage, right? So with Beerus having damage reduction, he's obviously going to be looking pretty good. But yeah, we managed to get the Beerus and Whis starting rotation, which is what we want. So we should be looking pretty good. The only thing is, now... him not fighting a Realm of Gods enemy, losing effective against all types probably isn't that big of a deal. It's the losing the Rainbow Orb changing, which is going to be the thing that makes a fairly significant difference for him, I would say. Because obviously the Rainbow Orb changing is going to be one of the things that like consistently allows him to get to 7 orbs. But again, if we're going to be running him on the Blue, Vegeta and Goku team, there we have the possibility to get Bulma on the team, who's an orb changer and giving a ton of support. So we can look pretty good. And we did get 7 orbs here, just unfortunately there are no attacks in slot 1. Because that's the other thing to remember as well. Getting those 7 orbs gives him the extra damage reduction before he attacks. So if you get a turn like this, where there's no attacks in slot 1 anyway, it actually just doesn't matter if you get the 7 orbs or not. Because you're going to lose that damage reduction once you've attacked anyway. So the 3 orbs is the minimum you want to get, right? So you get the 40% extra. Beerus and Whis at a 10 million attack stat here. LR Beerus and Whis are a unit that I haven't really used very much since their EZA. But obviously now with the EZA of physical Beerus, they're going to work quite well together. Yeah, Beerus takes double digits. They take double digits. Piccolo, obviously the GOAT. So yeah, super physical unit with 40% damage reduction. Would need 1.4 million defense for tanking double digits from this Goku Black. Yeah, so... And that's the thing. You see Start of Turn, he's at like 230k defense. He does get a buff when he gets hit. But it's not going to be enough for like, you know... Because you got to remember the difficulty level of these Dismal Future Red Zones. Like, characters getting blasted into oblivion by a type disadvantage super attack is not exactly a mark against those units, right? Because unless the unit is a full-on tank with insane levels of damage reduction, that's kind of what we would expect in those scenarios, right? So I don't think that's any indictment against Beerus. I mean, we saw what he did against that Goku Black in terms of his performance on turn 1. Like, the first normal attack, he doesn't take that much because of the extra damage reduction. Then it drops to double digits. And then obviously he dies to a super. But once you get past the STR phase, then of course Rose is physical. So Beerus is going to be tanking him no issue. You already have stacked up a little bit of attack. And then, I mean, he's got type effective because it's Realm of Gods anyway. But yeah, you're going to be doing a lot of damage. Now this is where we should see a nice turn for Beerus, because we actually do now have type advantage. I can't get the 7 orbs, but that's fine. We don't really need them. We'll get the 3 orbs so that we get the damage reduction. He's got 271k defense. He is going to get hit in slot 1 here. So remember, that's going to give him 150% attack and defense. So let's see. I guess we'll just grab this and then grab these. And we've already gotten a few stacks in as well. So now that he's going to get his buff, let's see what he's doing here. This is his 3rd appearance. It's turn 5. So yeah, 15.3 million. And he's additional supered like once. So that'd be the only thing that would make him absolutely insane, is if he also had built-in additional. So I do think full additional is probably the way to go in his hidden potential, right? And then a bit of crit. Mine just has 3 dodge, and then it's like full additional and the rest in crit. So overall, I'd have to say this Beerus is looking pretty good, especially for these red zone stages. Like the last 2 specifically, right? Zamasu and Fusion Zamasu, because they both start off as being in. So you're going to be fairly well protected early on. You're going to be getting the orb changing because it's a Realm of Gods enemy. And then by the time you get to the second phase, where he is then going to be type neutral, you've already gotten off a few attacks. Like his attack stats are going to be high. The only downside is obviously going to come from physical Fusion Zamasu or the tech Rose and Zamasu. If they super attack him after he's attacked, then he's obviously going to be in trouble, because he drops back down to 40% damage reduction. So it's a bit of a shame he doesn't... Could you imagine if he stacked attack and defense? Like how crazy he would be. But obviously, like, we can't expect units to do everything. The fact that he's up to this point where he's dropping like 15 million attack stats and stuff is really good. So... And then, of course, yeah, I always forget about the fact that he does have the active skill, which I can't even remember the last time I actually used it. But we need to get to 70% or less HP. But that gives him extra attack and defense, as well as the attacks effective against all types, which, of course, in some of these events is not going to matter too much. But yeah, I need to take some damage if we're going to get the active skill. But yeah, 13.2 without support on this turn. Pretty good. Gets the crit. And then there's another additional. Just keep on stacking. Right. What I'm really excited to see is if he's able to tank physical Corrupted Merge Zamasu super attack in slot 1. Yeah, that's going to be interesting, because it does what? Like, doesn't his super attack do like 2 million? So with him in slot 1, he's going to have 70% damage reduction. And then he's only rocking around what, like 230k defense. So it probably does damage. It's definitely, he's not going to tank it for double digits, but obviously if he can survive it, that's going to be really, really good. So hopefully we will see that during the Fusion Zamasu showcase. That will be coming out later on today. So now ideally we can lose some HP on this next turn, because let's not get any same type. Well, we're on full health basically anyway, but I was going to say we won't get any same type orbs. I think the only way we really lose any health on this turn is if Piccolo gets supered as the first attack of the turn, which he did not. So yeah, unfortunately Beerus's active skill not going to be super easy to get in some of these weaker events, right? But of course, once we start jumping into Fusions and Master and things like that, then I would expect to see us getting his active skill off. Yeah, see, 100k unfortunately is just not enough. And this guy can super twice, but Gohan should finish off Frieza this turn, especially with the unit super. Oh, never mind. Now, we could get supered on Gowasu and Zamasu and them not dodge. Nope. Nope. Alright, well, never mind. Well, at least this way Beerus gets to get another super attack, so that helps us stack up a bit more, I guess. We'll just have to see if we can lose some HP on this next turn against Tech Frieza, but also not die. We're in that weird middle ground where we want to lose a bunch of HP, but we also want to not die. Also, Beerus has a very cool KO screen, I have to say. Oh yeah, we're not losing any HP on this turn, jeez. Who's got the lowest defense out of these Gohans? It's 500k. Well, I guess we could do this and again hope that Piccolo just gets supered as the first attack of the turn. And then at least this way the Gohan at the end doesn't have any links active. But at the same time, I can't imagine we're going to take much damage on this turn. If we can drop below, that would be awesome, because on the next turn, we're going to be able to use Beerus's active skill and get the Dokkan attack. So that would obviously be some pretty big damage for our boy, but from physical Zamasu. Yeah, he needs to get hit first because he does get that big buff. But yeah, we didn't drop below. We're just never going to get to it, unfortunately. Now this will be interesting because we can't get the 7 orbs, right? So there is the possibility that if we get supered in slot 1, because what's his defense? 271. If we get supered in slot 1, we could actually die here. Unless it's the second attack, I think. Okay, so we get the first attack, double digits, big defense buff. He doesn't get it, so there you go. So how many... We got quite a few supers off with Beerus. He's at 17.6 million attack. It's pretty good. So yeah, this should be some pretty spicy damage. Yeah, 24 million no crit. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. And now he gets supered, right? So now we've got 40% damage reduction. But he's got pretty solid defense at this point. 340k. So that shows you his big weakness right there, right? Is taking a super after he's attacked. Because if that was from Tech Frieza, any of these other tougher red zone bosses, then he's getting killed, right? The strength when it comes to him taking supers is in slot 1 before he attacks, but after he's been hit once to get the defense buff. That's the sweet spot where that's where you want him to get supered by like physical fusion Zamasu or something, if he's gonna get supered by him, is after he's been hit with a normal but still before he's attacked, so he has 70% damage reduction. But I mean, there you go, that's physical Beerus. I think he looks very good. With the fact that these newer red zones are against Realm of God's enemies, you're going to consistently be able to get those 7 orbs, unless you get unlucky, of course. But RNG is RNG at the end of the day. But yeah, I think he looks pretty good. So we're going to try him out on the Blue Goku and Vegeta team against Fusion Zamasu in an upcoming video. So make sure you guys check that out. But let me know what you guys think of Physical Beerus' EZA down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.